Hi, welcome back to the A&S Way, and in this video I am going to update you on where we're at with our green card process. But before I get into that, I wanted to say thank you to all of our subscribers, those who've been following us for a long time and our new subscribers, and just wanted to say please do comment, say hi for those new subscribers, because we do really love knowing who you are, what you're finding interesting about our videos, and if you haven't already, please do subscribe. So now back to it in terms of where we're at. So it has been a little while, so those who've been following us will know that we started our green card application back last summer. So in August was when I started to prepare the green card application. I got approval from the company for an EB1C green card. So if you want to understand more about the type of green card we're on and why we've picked that green card, go back and watch the other video. We'll put a link there, but that explains the type of visa we're on now and why the EB1C is the right type of visa for us. The EB1C is an employment-based green card, and I'm mentioning that because we get a lot of comments asking about green cards and what's the right type for you. There are many types of green cards. We do have videos on that, but our particular one is an employment-based green card. Now, the reason it's taken a while to get to this point, and I'll explain where we're at, is a mixture of things. Number one, it did take me a long time to get all the information that we needed for the original petition, and that was just a case of me finding time in between work. It's quite tedious, but also it did also take the attorneys quite some time to put it together, and that was simply because with the pandemic they were really busy and having to prioritize other cases over ours. I mean, clearly we're super important, but unfortunately that did mean it took a bit longer for our initial petition to be filed. We are filing, so to explain the green card process, if you're on an L1A, they initiate the process with a I-140 form. So that's your petition to apply for the green card. And that's where I explained in the last video about how my attorney explained the level of information to put into that. So that was gathering all the information about the role I'm in, my team, really the proof that I'm working at an executive managerial level. It went to the detail of me having to show what degrees my team had, and also my previous role in the UK. So as part of that, I needed my previous manager from the UK office to also sign a letter about my previous role as well. So that was the I-140 form. So finally, after a good few months, that was submitted early December, I believe, and we have now a receipt number. So when the attorneys submit your application, the US CIS will come back with a receipt number, and that's your case number. So you can go online and track the status of that. We are not expecting to have any update for, I don't know, at least another 10 months. When we submitted it, the timelines were estimated to be in and around 10 to 12 months, which is not bad and it's not terrible. That's actually probably on the lower end of how long you can expect for that petition to be approved or not. And it does depend, and I just want to point this out, that is for an EB1C. So depending on the type of green card that you're getting, whether it's employment-based or family-based, the priority of it will determine how long it will take for that application to be approved. But it's not just that, it's also where you're coming from. So if I'm British, so that impacts the timelines as well. If I was from India or somewhere else, it can take longer. In fact, it can take years for your green card to be approved. Now, when you file that form, you can do something. If you're already in the States with your L1A, you can do something that they call concurrent filing. And I did mention that in the last video. So that is where not only do you file for your green card application, but at the same time, you file for your adjustment of status. And there are a couple of ways that you can go about doing that. You can do it concurrently, and the benefit of that is that it speeds the entire process up, because essentially you are filing for the adjustment of status concurrently on the assumption that you believe your green card application will go through. And that is something that you do need to discuss with your attorney. My attorney discussed it at length in terms of whether he truly believed we had a strong case that we would be approved. If he had doubts, he would not recommend us doing that. He would recommend going for the application and then doing the adjustment of status once you're approved. In our case, once he gathered all of my information, he felt very confident that our green card should be approved, in which case he said we could do concurrent filing. In our case, we didn't exactly do concurrent filing because because of how long it was taking, we decided to file the green card application just to speed the process up. But we are now filing for the adjustment of status. So I'll explain what that is now. So that is another form. It is an I-485 form. And with that, that's more your demographics. So information about your history in terms of addresses, where you've travelled, your employment. So just more of your background information, nothing to do with the specifics of your role. And I've had to complete that for myself and for Anton as well. That one was quite easy. In comparison to the petition, this one is really easy. You just literally list out all the information. The attorney that I'm using, they have an online portal, so they make it really easy for me to just put all of the information in. It's just tedious, if anything, to just make sure that you put all the information in that you need. And with that, they also file for your work permit and your travel permit. Now with an L1A, you don't necessarily need the travel permit, but it's just the norm when you go for the adjustment of status that you get your work and travel permit as well. In terms of the adjustment of status, I've got to the point where I filled it in for both me and Ant. Now that's done, we have been just this week and tomorrow are now completing our medical exam. So as part of that adjustment of status, we are also submitting our medical. That requires us to go to a medical examiner that is approved to do this for the green card application. It's costed, the price was about $300 each for the medical exam, and it's a bit of an odd process. You go to the doctor, you book in, you go to the doctor's office, and they essentially check your medical records in terms of immunizations. I think they checked us for general mobility, checked if we've got heart issues, lung issues, anemia. I don't really know what both me and Ant are relatively healthy, no major ailments. I'm not really sure what would have happened if I had some sort of long-term issue, but they check that as part of the medical exam. They check that you're up to date on all your vaccines. So something for me and Ant that we have had to do is get our flu shots. And this is a really weird one because so if you go for your medical exam between October and March, you have to get the flu shot. If we'd gone in April, we don't. But the whole thing is a bit odd anyway, because I don't really understand, because we've entered the country as we are anyway, and then now they're requiring all of this. So I don't fully get the understanding. If you guys know, comment below and let us know, because we're not super clear on it. The other thing that you need to be wary with the medical exam is up until last summer, it was only valid for 2 years, which meant if your green card application took longer than that, you would have to go for the medical exam again. Since October of 2021, they've extended that to 4 years. So we're hoping that we will be covered and it's timed correctly for us, and that we don't have to go through the process again. Another part of it was having to get our bloods taken to check for things. By the way, they always struggle to find my veins, so for me it usually means that I'm jabbed up quite a few times before they manage to take my blood. So I don't particularly like that process, but it's something that you have to do in order to get your green card. So next for us now is, once the doctor gets all of our records up to date in terms of us proving that we're up to date with our vaccinations, that our bloods come back fine, He will then put together, seal in an envelope, his kind of approval for our medical exam. It is sealed, apparently we cannot tamper that. And then we will send that to the attorney along with 6 passport size photos each for each of us. So we've had to get 6 passport photos each plus the medical exam. I'll send that to the attorney, and I believe that will be it. So we're planning, so we should be doing that this week. So probably by the time the video is out, we've submitted that. And then it's a case of just waiting. I believe at some point we'll have a notification of when the adjustment of status will be approved. That I believe that will be before the green card. And then it's just a case of waiting back to hear about our green card status approval. And then if we are approved, going for biometrics. If we're not, and that will, if our green card isn't approved, that will generally, what the process is that they will request for more evidence. It's called an RFE, and we are hoping that that doesn't happen to us. So the reason we spent more time up front is to limit the chances of them requesting more evidence. So fingers crossed, we've submitted everything that we need in order to get our green card approved. And the next update, I guess, will be once we hear back about our permits for our adjustment of status. If you have any questions about the green card process, please comment below. I would not claim to be any expert when it comes to this. We are definitely learning as we go along. We just hope that it gets approved, and we're just following what the attorney says. But yeah, if you do have any questions, comment below. Do not forget to hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks for watching.